go. Hi, and welcome to the show. I'm Brenda Kilhoffer, and I'm your cheap mama. And I am here today with our super favorite life recovery coach and intuitive, Ingrid Essawova. And today we get to talk about gratitude. And I can't think of anybody I would much rather have that topic of conversation, because she's certainly someone I am super grateful for having in my life. And with Thanksgiving especially coming up, and Christmas, oftentimes we get into the busyness of that holiday. And I know on social media too, Ingrid, there's always that challenge in November, for doing gratitude each day of November. So let's talk about why would somebody want to, make a statement every day about something they're grateful for.
And isn't that interesting how we kind of focus on it one time out of the year, right? One or two time or one part of the year. And why is it not practice moment to moment basis? Because I don't really think people understand the power of gratitude and how it actually can change someone's life, right?
Yeah, right. And I think it's great that we have the holiday to focus on it. And I love that challenge, because for me, many years ago, what that challenge created for me was a habit of now taking the time every single day and writing down in a journal what I'm grateful for. Because you're right, it is, I think the gratitude is a powerful tool for changing your life.
It really is. And even if we just take it a little bit deeper, the reason that we're here on earth is to have an opportunity to evolve, to shift, to make changes. And let's say when we choose to think, to say, to do actions that are healthy and productive and of the light and not the shadow, let's say they're all worth 1 point. Well, releasing, forgiving, and being grateful, there was 10 times, 100 times more each. So let's just have fun, and I'm making that up. Let's say they're worth 10 points. Because when you have gratitude, that means that you're noticing something.
Yeah.
If you're noticing something, that means you are aware, which means you're in the moment. When we're not in the moment and we are too much in the future, too much in the past, we're not as clear in seeing and hearing what's right in front of us.
Right.
And we're seem to be constantly striving for more. And about being successful, more. And then, by the way, when we reach there, it's not good enough. You need to be more. Okay, what happened about the now?
Right.
What happened with the journey from to get to a certain place? It's about being grateful. And does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And every moment of the day, I am in gratitude 24/7. And when one is in the holidays and they're around the table with family and everyone goes around and has a gratitude, it's gratitude about people in your life and gratitude that you're all together. And oh, how wonderful is that? And let's always remember that. And with that, in the same breath, I have gratitude of that I'm sitting in a home with a roof over my head, that I am sitting in front of Brenda right now, having this podcast, being able to have the technology that my phone works, that I have a phone, that I'm able to have this opportunity, and technically that we've connected,
Absolutely.
connected technologically.
And even the gratitude that, just being grateful for the fact that we both just had this opportunity this morning. I mean, today's was so spontaneous. I mean, we tend to schedule them. We tend to know exactly, and you just happen to have time, and
you happen to have time.
I happen to have time, and it was,
and we're able to do this. And I'm looking out the window, and there's sunshine, and I'm looking out the window, and my flowers are actually look good. and I'm sitting here, and I'm actually talking to you and sipping this amazing tea that I made, because I love putting herbs from my garden. The fact that I have a garden, that I have that. Do you see how, and the fact that I'm healthy, I can breathe. I remember sitting in this chair when I had COVID and just looking out and going, I can't breathe, and even that was gratitude, because I wasn't in a hospital on a ventilator, so.
Well, and even in those trials, like having gratitude for those opportunities, the trials, the things that come up that are hard and are difficult, because without those experiences, what comes next doesn't necessarily come next. What comes out of that, that's, where we're strengthened, where we're,
we don't know what we don't know. So we are able to have a comparison, then we know. And even having the mindset that something's good or something's bad or something's hard. Well, can it be harder? And again, everything is for you. And again, I want to stick to gratitude, of course, but even gratitude, if in a situation that is very, very different, in a different pathway than you thought it was going to be that morning, you thought you were going to have a morning that was going to be this, it was going to be one certain pathway. And suddenly you got a phone call, or suddenly you got an email, and those pathways have shifted.
Right.
Having the gratitude of the awareness, and having the gratitude to have a choice of managing and navigating that situation. And
it just boils down to changing your being, changing your state of being. I mean, if to step into it psychologically or scientifically or whatever, just your own frequency that you're operating at. And being able to recognize that, okay, this just came in front of me, and I could drop into fear or doubt, anxiety or doubt, or any of these low frequencies, vibrations that aren't going to attract abundance and love. And
right. And it's self-sabotage,
or we can say, okay, wow, I'm grateful for this opportunity. I mean, we can choose to step into gratitude right then and there. For no reason,
gloom.
Yeah, for no reason other than, okay, I recognize that being in doom and gloom, being in the anxiousness, the fret, the worry, all of these things isn't going to attract anything to me except more of that.
Exactly.
So I can just boom on a dime say, you know what, I'm grateful for this opportunity. What's it going to bring?
And there's a kind of like a twofold in that, because remember, the universe always pushes you to your ultimate desired non-ego state. So therefore, this has to happen. This has to happen. This has to happen for you. It's a tap on the shoulder going, hello, you're pissed off at her right now because perhaps you need to change or reinvent your relationship with this person. Perhaps you need to leave this company. Perhaps this and this. And it's like you keep on getting things on a silver platter. I really look at it as a silver platter, even though you look at it and go, ew, you're being constantly pushed to face the other direction. And that is gratitude all on itself. But
Yes.
then that really goes into your faith, your belief, your knowing. So
Mhm.
my faith and belief and knowing, out of the three things that is my belief, my faith and knowing, is that I'm always taken care of.
Right.
As long as I initiate, I use my creativity, I use my skills, I use my common sense, and I use my intuition, and I apply myself. I'm not going to sit here in this wonderful chair just going, okay, I'm waiting. Hello, life happened for me. I have to do, but also understand I can only do so much in a 24-hour day, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. And the rest is up to my tribe, to my team, energetically, to create those synchronicities, what people call coincidences. So that is my belief, that I'm always taken care of, even though I think at times their time stinks. Like now, like, could have not been like 2 months later, please. Like, do you have to do it now? Yes, you have to do it now because everything is lined up. And remember, you're not by yourself in this journey. Other people are involved, other situations are involved, other things are involved, and they have a timing too. So you're being pushed at that moment, even though you don't think it's the best timing, because it's perfect synchronicity. Because if you go over there, that's why the apartment is available right there. But it won't be tomorrow. Or that person is going to walk over here on that day. They're not going to walk there tomorrow. You know what I mean? So even though you think it's the worst timing, it's the best timing, because everything is always perfect, because it's synchronized for you. But we just keep shoving it under the rug. We keep self-sabotaging and being wired differently. And therefore gratitude can't come into play. Merely complaining comes into play, because you're complaining that this is happening to you instead of happening for you. And it's just the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that was like a total download. I have no idea what I just
Oh, there is just so much that that resonated for me through that. I know it's interesting. We've talked about this with the writing of the book, when the thought came to me last year that, okay, I get to write, and that's going to attract into my life, because I'm using, to your point, you said we are gifted with talents. We're gifted with specific talents to use for a specific purpose. And so often we put those on the back shelf and aren't grateful for that, don't use it. To your point, you brought up faith and action, and there's so many, we could do a whole conversation on that. Scripture says faith without works is dead, right? And whereas, you'll have folks, well, no, you're saved, whether you have works or don't, everyone takes and twists that whole, everyone has their own meaning when it comes to that. But I think it truly is, we're given a set of talents, and God, universe, whatever one believes, gives us these promptings and says, here, this is what's next. This is what's next for you. And we get to choose whether we step into that, take the action steps that also, I believe, incidentally, come down, they in the form of ideas. I can be sitting in the shower like, oh, yeah. And that book, for me, the book was a perfect example. I initially thought that it was going to look like rewriting a different book. And then I was very clear that God was saying, no, it's Hope Rising right now. And, the works is doing that, is following that prompting and watching where it leads. And I have just seen door after door after door. And, even relationships that I had years ago that aren't there now. That hadn't been in my life for many years, and had one say today, "Oh my gosh, we've been connected forever." Like I've always felt that connection. Now let's go do what it is we're meant to do together.
Right.
And I think gratitude for me, and you can correct me if you think, or you can share if you think it's different. But for me, I think gratitude's that kind of that bridge, that gateway for somebody to get out of all of those things that block that synchronicity, right? The fear, the doubt, the worry, the negativity. And if I just, yes, those are real feelings that people have. And even if I can't be grateful for that moment, right in that moment, right? Even if I don't have that faith or that understanding that you have, that everything is happening for me, I can simply choose, okay, this stinks. What's going on right now isn't what I want. All right, what can I be grateful for? What right now? Oh, I can be grateful for the fact that I have a roof over my head. I can be grateful for these amazing kids I have. I can be grateful. And that just immediately shifts that vibration,
Exactly.
that beingness, and allows all of those other synchronistic things into our lives that we were blocking in that fear, worry, doubt about the circumstances around us right now. And I think
Right.
and I think on a bigger picture, that's where everybody's at, right? Where the vast majority of our planet is right now. It is fear, doubt, anger, resentment, worry, resistance, all of it, over, I can't leave my house. I can't leave my state. I can't do this. I can't do that. They should take a shot. No, they shouldn't. They should, all of that negative emotion pent up and increasing, where we could shift as a collective community simply by finding gratitude in one thing. What one thing today can I find gratitude in to shift that vibration for a moment?
And understanding and going beyond that. And that's what I want, that there's, look at all the gratitude that you have at that moment for that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a perfect segue for what you were saying, Brenda, that it really goes right down to ego, and it goes down to how we were brought up with parents, guardians, teachers, society, that there is going to be judgment on you if you don't do this, 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 and this. And of course, I have to do this and this because of reputation. It's all judgment because it's all based on expectations. And again, that's the work that I do at Simply True, is we rewire, because we do have expectations. We are not, and people are not living up to those expectations. It's expectations within yourself, the fact that you even have expectations. So therefore, one would say, why should I be grateful? This is not, I am not measuring up to my inner circle, outer circle, within myself. There's always judgment. Everywhere I look, there's judgment. I turn on the TV, there's judgment. And that's the whole thing, is that it's time to rewire, because we are so much in ego, and understanding that if it's not love, that thought that you have, that word, those words that you speak, the actions that you take, if it's not love, it's ego. And again, taking it deeper with the gratitude of even having just one thing that you're grateful for. No, mention it all at that moment. Okay, now I can't go to this event. Okay, why am I grateful? Grateful that I have a plan B, that I can stay home tonight and watch Netflix or get that good let's sit down and, light a candle, have great music, and let's read that book that you wanted to read. Let's just go have a bath and let's have a facial. Let's nurture. Let's call that friend. I mean, there's so many plan B, plan C, plan D that you can do and have that grateful. And also understand that it's a fast, is it called a fast pass? Oh my God, it's been a while since I've had young children. When you go to adventure theme parks and you go in front of the line, you get a fast pass if you are able to. So you go in front of the line. It's a fast pass to healing the emotions, the triggers, the wounds. It's a fast pass, that gratitude, because you get to be in the moment, which means you get to be still, which means you get to slow down and smell the coffee and the roses, and look and going, I'm grateful for this and that. And then you're able to take the next step. I'm grateful for this. Give it a try, a whole week. I do. Oh, wouldn't that be nice to do a grateful challenge on social media? 1 week of pure gratitude, like every moment. And at the end of the week, if nothing has changed in your life, okay. I'm very confident it will. So that's why I laugh.
Absolutely. I actually, I am part of a Facebook group where that is what it is, an ongoing gratitude. Just go post your great daily. What are you grateful for each day? And it is, I think absolutely. It's, I think it's the fastest, easiest way.
It
to your
really
point,
is.
The fast pass to change your life, to change your mood, to change your beingness, to change literally anything really you're not satisfied with. Because you get more, what is it? What you resist persists.
Right.
So, we don't want worry. We don't want, we don't want things to go wrong. And there's that tendency to think about and to focus on what we don't want.
But then even having the mentality that thinking that things can go wrong, they're not. They're actually going to the pathway of productivity.
Yeah.
Even being, I guess that's a whole different podcast all on its own. Understanding there's no such thing at things going wrong or that it's a bad day. There is no such thing. And it's not like, oh, let's just look at it that way. There really isn't. It is progression for you. It is done for you. So you have the awareness so you can move forward. And again, I think that's a really good podcast all on its own. But again, back to gratitude. I want to share with the audience what I go through in my, what do you call it? In the background. It's not the background. It's when you're on a website and it's your website and you get to go through the back door. It's not the background. It's not the back door. What is it?
I have
you
no
get to
idea.
you get to all the technical stuff. I know there's our audience are yelling it out. I know, but anyways, just think of it as the back door for now.
Okay.
Because I can't think of the word, and now it's in the tip
The
of my
landing
tongue.
page? No.
No. It's in the back door. Like all your stuff, your analytics and all that's all in the back door.
Okay.
It's not important. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. So literally, I get out the door, right? I open the door. I see the sunshine. I see my plants out there. I could take a deep breath. I'm going to work. I literally am grateful for those plants, that sunshine. I lock the door. I will look out. I'm just looking around. The birds are flying. The hummingbirds in front of me. I'm going to my car that's working, that I enjoy, that I'm going to put in I love music. So even gratitude that I have this awesome stereo in my car, because music is vibration, music is soul. And I get to drive to work to see my clients. As I'm going up, you know, someone says, go right ahead, you go in front of me. I have gratitude
Right.
for that. You know, there is not an engine light on my engine, on my dashboard, because that could be anywhere from $200 to $20,000.
Right.
And if there is, okay, we will deal with it. Thank goodness we
Yeah.
have choices to deal with it. Like, do you guys understand that it's a lot more than just think of today and what you're grateful for? Yes, it's a good start, but that's all we kind of being taught here in society. I get it. But if you're going to make a radical shift, that pathway is what I just had mentioned. The fact that, you know, you're at home, you're looking at your kid run by and they're probably screaming at something. You know, the fact you again have that child, because there is someone out there that has lost their child or is not able to have their child. Just to the fact that they turn and they smile, just understanding that you are in such a position to make a difference, and you're in a position that other people are not in that position, and truly authentically having that gratitude, not because, oh, I'm probably karmically that's going to be really good for me. No, because the universe knows if it's real or not. So having that gratitude instantly changes the vibration in your body. You get to actually feel physically, mentally, emotionally different at that moment. It is like a light switch.
Mhm.
And people don't understand that even feels different. So if you're tired and this and that, I mean, there's a reason for that. You are not present. You're not taking care of what is in front of you. And then that, of course, can go into so many different roads that we don't have time for today. But does everyone hear me? Do they get it in terms of that every moment, every second of that gratitude
Now,
that
what?
we really are not used to, because people really don't talk about it like this? Go ahead.
Yeah, and I love what you said about, you know, feeling, truly feeling the gratitude versus the mechanics of saying I'm grateful. And what I guess I would, you know, just in my own experience of gratitude, I have in the past been someone who lives mostly in my head, right? Not from my heart, not from my soul, but just analytically thinking through everything, right? So for me, gratitude was at first more mechanic and not feeling it. Yet I still was able to create some sort of muscle memory out of the practice of journaling. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. And eventually I can't keep writing I'm grateful for something without hitting on something that I truly am grateful for and create those feelings. You know, now, and I guess the reason I bring that up is, you know, some of our listeners might be in a place that I, you know, have certainly been, where now they're trying to feel gratitude, you know, versus choosing, just stepping into it and feeling it, right? And now they're beating themselves up because I'm not doing it right, or I can't. Does that make, I mean,
Right.
reality
and
is,
the thing is, again,
we
it goes
get
right
into
back
that.
to ego.
Yes.
Again, it goes right back to ego. I'm not doing it right. Yes,
Right.
you are doing it right. It's perfect, because that is the best you can do.
Absolutely.
At this moment. You don't have any other resources at this moment to do it any different.
And that was really truly the point that I was making, is, you know, even in those moments where maybe you aren't quite feeling it, keep doing it. Keep doing it to trigger, because you will. You will develop the tools, you'll develop the muscles, you'll develop the ability to feel that gratitude too.
Exactly. And with that said, I think it's time to go on break.
I agree. So we will come right back.
Hey, I just want to tell you guys real quickly, after talking with Dr. Kendall Williams about his brand new book, Visions, Values, and Corporate Hypocrisy, I'm very convinced that this book can help just about any executive, any corporate employee who's looking to just level up their game. As someone who was a failed leader themselves, managing over a team, I can tell you one thing, that for sure you can just hear the arguments that Dr. Williams make loud and clear about how leaders fail to align their actions with company values that results in just these disastrous consequences in the business, amongst the employees, and amongst the consumers. It's pure hypocrisy that we see in the corporate world. And this is why, the book, Visions, Values, and Corporate Hypocrisy is going to be one that you want to pick up and start reading more about. Dr. Williams has got all the right stuff for you in this book. Check it out. It's available on Amazon right now. I got the link somewhere and at the bottom to the left or the right, or however you're listening or watching right now. And leave them a review. Tell them how you really feel after you have read it once through.
Hi, and welcome back to the show. I'm Brenda Kilhover, your cheap mama, and today we have Ingrid Essawova, who you guys know and love probably as dearly as I do, I'm sure. We have been talking about gratitude, and one of the first things, we have a couple things for sure to get into the next 15 minutes here. One of the first things I wanted to go back to is at the very beginning, Ingrid, you had mentioned, gratitude right in the now, in the present, right? That being in the present. And I wanted to touch on your thoughts around gratitude for what's to come. I know in my gratitude practice, I will write down 10 things I'm grateful for that are now, that are happy, that in that moment. And then I will write down 10 things that I'm grateful for, that I desire, that I wish to manifest, I wish to have come into fruition. So I'm curious around your thoughts on that, because I know I've been, reading The Secret, reading different books out there. And there have been many that have said, it's a powerful tool in manifesting maybe your vision by having gratitude for what you see for yourself in the future. Right. What are your thoughts around that?
Sure. So they're in different little sections. So, and again, it comes with the whole mindset and having the absence of fear and doubt. So that's the one thing with manifestation, which is if there is even a 0.00001% of doubt or fear, it absolutely takes out the whole manifestation. Having a knowing in your head, like say, for example, the publishing of your book, right? That you would say, I have gratitude for having my book published. Meanwhile, the book could be published like 3 months from now. So that you're already in the now, that I'm living in my safe home, which is in perfect vibration of me. That I'm already in a business where I am manifesting, so I am able to feed myself, to drink, to have a safe roof over my head, and to give to others. So do you see, I'm putting these things because they're not ego driven, because so when I said there's a part of these things is just making sure that they're not ego driven, not having an attachment to the outcome, and just simply have it for the higher self, for you being able to make a difference in the future. And also having a mindset that you don't have a little door open going, or maybe it won't be published, or maybe it won't be, or I'm really scared, like what if they say no? Okay, well, that kind of cancels out everything. Right. Just having that gratitude that it will be without having an attachment to the outcome. And
so, and I love the way you explain that, because I think it is still, you brought it to the present is what you've done. I'm grateful for this as though it is right now. So because your vision, what you see is very real.
Correct.
Right.
And
like
it's just a matter of this time.
And by saying, I am grateful for this, even though it has not yet manifested, you're bringing it to the now,
right, because the universe doesn't know 2:00, 3:00, 5:30. Right? It only knows now. So we are all energy. Everything is energy. It's about attracting what you are. So you're attracting that situation to you. And the obstacles that are in the way is the ego. Those are the boxes in the hallway that you can't get through from one side, to get to the elevator, because those big boxes are in the way. Get rid of the boxes, which is the ego, just know it to be so. Know it to be so, and also know your why. And why we say make sure it's not ego driven, because your why can be, because then I can feel good about myself, and then I'll have a lot of friends, and then everybody will accept me and I will belong. Okay, that's ego driven. But having it is so I can have a tool to help others, so I can reach, more people. That's just an example of it not being a
and I think at least for me, what I'm finding is if I envision something like, okay, it's this and it fits in this box and this is the way to get there, like I'll be like I just recently had a residual income goal, right I had a good, I had a very clear why for that. And yet the goals that I was putting forth, the things that I wanted to be grateful for were, well, it looked like I earned this 3,500 this way, doing exactly. And that, to your point, I think is very much more ego driven. Whereas instead what I saw is, all right, I'm receiving $3,500 residually.
Right. And I looked at it in another way.
And then I didn't even see it. I mean, it was so that belief, that gratitude for it was so sure that when it was there, I didn't even see it there. Like it had already, that it To your point,
It
it had
already-
already manifested. It was already sitting there, and I didn't even see it because ego thought it got to look a different way. And I think
Right.
that's one of the things I'm learning is, okay, if I've got,
You didn't have an attachment to the outcome, though.
uh,
You did not have an
Right,
attachment to
right.
the outcome.
yes, yes,
You,
that's
you would, yeah. Exactly. I think that's the difference, right,
Mhm.
Brenda?
right.
Like, you didn't even know it was there. You had put it out there, but you didn't have an attachment. That attachment
Right.
is the ego, is the boxes in the hallway that are in the way that you can't get through. When you
Mhm.
release the boxes, you release the ego and you put that manifestation, voila,
Mhm.
you know? So when I'm saying you're always taken care of, you walk into your car, you have an engine light, you find out it's $3,500 for this part and
Mhm.
labor that you have to. You may have the money, but you didn't exactly want to spend right now $3,500
Right.
on a part. Whoa, you got a residual income that just happened to come in. It's $3,500. Woohoo! You got
Yeah.
your part and your labor. You're always taken care of. It comes in,
Mhm.
you know? So that's how I operate, because like I don't have goals, I don't have budget, I don't have those things, because I am so grateful for food, water, shelter, health. I'm so grateful. And if I have anything more than that, I am like super duper deluxe grateful. So every single time I need to do something, I have a download. Oh, go write a book. Oh, okay.
Right.
I'll go write a book. Boom. Oh, go get do another office in another city. Go do this, go do that.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, done. And here is the thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's
no,
it
absolutely.
manifests
That's
and
the
it
point.
grows that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
I
I'm in the
had,
moment all the time,
yeah.
which I'm
And-
grateful for.
Yeah, I mean, I had some, significant, little downloads here and there, and then you watch around you, and
Correct.
when you're listening, when you're seeing, when you're grateful, when it all of the connects, everything fits and lines right up. It's
It
all
hits
right
and
there.
fits.
It does. Oh my gosh. And we're going to have a good conversation here later this week. I just had something else. I just had something else on a different, crap.
Very good, very good. Make sure you write it down so you
Yes.
can continue to remember.
Woo. Woo.
Yes, I want you to
Goosebumps,
remember. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So let's say in our audience, they're in a place where they would like to start to do gratitude, but they don't know where to start. How do they get started? So I have a few suggestions. May I share?
Please do.
So I say this to all my clients, and it is such a fun little task to do every single morning, and it's so powerful. I call it the miracle. Well, I don't call it. It is called the miracle prayer, and it has the gratitude in it. So, and I really think that morning is a really great time that you have time for yourself, whether it's having your tea or your smoothie or your coffee. Have a little place, whether it's out in the garden or out in part of your home, where it's just your time. It could be for 5 minutes. It could be for 30 minutes.
And this is something the audience should grab a pen and paper and write down right now.
Grab a pen and paper, because you'll say to yourself, ooh, I got to write this down. All right. So first, you bring in whoever you want to bring in, and it's a form of a quick meditation. So you bring in your energetic tribe. It could be your angels. It could be your guides. It could be your masters. It could be Jesus. It could be God. It could be whatever, whomever, the universe, whatever you feel comfortable with. So you bring them on, and gratitude, thank you to them. And say, I'm grateful, and I have gratitude for yesterday's miracles. And you think of yesterday, even though you probably can't think of what happened half an hour ago, but you think of yesterday and from the very beginning of the morning, and you name it. Like in the morning, I received that phone call from a long time old friend. Thank you. What a miracle. I'm grateful for that. Grateful I went to the grocery store and they decided to come back with that favorite meal that I love, and I had it for dinner that night, Grateful for that client I just got. Grateful that I was able to get another wonderful sleep last night. Grateful for this, grateful for that. And you go through the entire day all the way to the end of the day. So that's quite a list. Again, you don't have to write it down. You can just merely say it in thought or out loud in words. The second part of it is just to give a blessing of love and light to the whole universe and beyond, especially those going through pain and heartache. So again, it's just a blessing for the whole universe and beyond, especially those going through pain, heartache, dissatisfaction, just love and light to them. Then the third part is you actually give, nothing happens without your permission on one level or another. So give permission for today's miracles and have gratitude for them. So you give permission, and these are some of the things that occurs by doing this particular ritual. And it's suggested for in the mornings. First of all, you feel a lot more grounded. That's one. Two, you feel more present. And what did we say when we began this podcast? That when you're present, you're able to see things, you're able to hear things. Mm-hmm. And it's really funny. People are actually looking for something that they can be grateful for and thank for the very next morning, going, ooh, you're going to be in my miracle prayer tomorrow. So, wow, things are in front of you all the time. It's just a matter of whether you see it or not. And it just really changes the day. And then when you really actually say in your head all those miracles, all the things that you're grateful for, you kind of realize, wow, I didn't know that there were so many. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole point. You get to actually see how your life runs day to day. So that's called the miracle prayer. Majority of my clients do it. It's my ritual every single day. I do it on my walks actually every day, and just have fun with it. Do it for a week. If you don't like it, then don't do it. Yeah. But I know you will like it.
You will. I do it. It was one you shared with me for a while, which is why I told everyone to write it down. And I know we are winding up to the end of our time together today. You have clients to serve, and
yes.
And I truly am grateful for the time that you give to me and to this show.
As I am as well. Bless, grateful. Thank you. And if anyone wants more information, just go on to simplytrue.com. Again, that's simplytrue.com. And let's talk.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank you
for
Brenda.
joining
Always
us.
Grateful.